Well, hey guys, how you doing today? Welcome back and thanks for joining me on my YouTube channel here. Always glad to have you here. Well, today I thought I'd just do a little update since my previous video when I told you I was going to be leaving Facebook and not even using my company pages there anymore, basically deleting my account. So how did it go? I have been without Facebook for 1 week now, and I have to say I feel pretty good. I'm really glad that I did this, and in the previous video I gave you all my reasons, why I was leaving Facebook, kind of the questionable moral stance of the company about privacy and kind of how it commodifies its users in a way that I didn't feel comfortable with, and the censorship policies and things like that. I mean, I'm not against it, and it doesn't mean just because I'm leaving Facebook that you should too. But I have to tell you, after not using it for 1 week, I feel like I've got my time back again, my time and my energy. I feel like I have a lot more focus, and it's just, I feel a kind of sense of calm again that I used to have on my life before I started using Facebook. And I didn't realize how much it affected me to feel like I had to kind of keep up with it and check it, because it's actually a lot of work, and you realize there are other ways to interact with people. I find I have more time to talk with people on the phone every day, and that it's really fun to talk with people on the phone because that's kind of how I'm connecting, and we can connect that way too if you want. But so it's very interesting, in Opening Minds, which I published about 15 years ago, I did have a chapter on time and how we were increasingly becoming a nanosecond culture, and everything was kind of compressed, and there was a higher expectation of how much we should do and get done all the time. And Facebook didn't exist back then, but I think that it actually kind of fits the ideas that I was writing about 15 years ago, which is kind of gratifying in some ways, that maybe we're pushing ourselves to do too much every day and feel like we have to be too connected. The fact is, folks, we're connected all the time. We're connected to the universe. We're connected to ourselves and the people around us and our families. And we don't have to be connected to people through electronic mechanisms just to feel that we're in touch with people. I think the evidence shows that the more we use computers to interact with people, that it has negative psychological consequences. I mean, the addiction factor, which we've heard about in some of this Senate testimony about Facebook, that's just one aspect of it. And I guess my point of view on this is that we have these natural and innate means of connecting with each other through our natural intuitions and psychic processes. I mean, that's what I found for the past 20 years. And in some ways, having electronic means to communicate with each other all the time interferes with that, because it's too much distraction. And it's distraction by trivia. And one of the most important things every day is just to maintain your level of energy, to get things done and to maintain your focus in life and to maintain your inner power. Back in the early 90s, when I first started researching this topic of how we use time and whether we're kind of compressing time, increasingly accelerating how much we expect to get done at every moment, there was a term we used. It was called information overload. I think Facebook and platforms like that create information overload for us. I really do. I mean, there's this kind of dopamine hit that we get, and you've probably read this too. I mean, it's something I was familiar with years ago, but it's more popular to study it. I mean, when we feel this sense of connection with people that we know through electronic media, we get a dopamine rush. And Facebook was engineered, according to Sean Parker, one of the founders of Facebook, to increase that dopamine addiction. So you get this kind of information overload, which creates this kind of addictive feeling, but you kind of get this rush from it. And it means you're kind of constantly checking to see how people have responded to your posts and what people are saying about you and things like that. And maybe it's just too much. Maybe we just can't handle it, and it does create information overload. And the effect on that is that it lowers your ability to have attention to other things that really matter in your life. And it takes away from your energy levels. And I think that's really what I'm feeling now, is a kind of a return to a kind of a more healthier level of focus and energy. Now, we know that one of the disadvantages of getting too much short-term micro information is that it leads you to try to micromanage things too much. You're constantly trying to control things in the short term. And that leads to what I've called fractal flattening, because the universe is built around fractals, all the way from the smallest levels of matter all the way up to the largest scales. You know, these beautiful intricate fractured patterns, the way our hair is shaped and our lung structure and our bodies and so forth. Well, the whole universe looks like a fractal. We're kind of flattening that, and we lose information when we when we flatten fractals. I mean, a tree wouldn't be a tree unless it had branches, right? And it keeps branching out. So that is the disadvantage of having too much information, is you're trying to micromanage things and you're trying to respond, and it's too short term. Your fuse is a little too short. Things go off, and they shouldn't be going off because it gives you more time to think about it. There was this wonderful book that I came across a number of years ago about the benefits of going more slowly and how we make decisions when we slow things down. And there's a lot of benefits to not going faster. In fact, in some things, going slower. And that's what we lose when we have this constant interaction. Anyway, you can see this is a big topic and something we can talk about another time, but there's a lot to think about in terms of, is all this electronic connection really valuable for us? Some ways it is, some ways it's not. So a week without using Facebook whatsoever at all, I took down my New Crystal Mind page too. I didn't use Facebook a lot personally. I used it mainly to communicate with you and my audience through the New Crystal Mind page, which I posted a lot of the same posts I have on my newcrystalmind.com blog, which you're welcome to visit anyway. And, you know, I had like about 6,000 likes on that page. So there were a lot of people that would see what I posted. But I just feel that I have less distractions up. I feel good about my decision, and I won't be going back to Facebook anytime soon. I guess a week ago it was kind of this moral decision to not get involved with it, but now I just feel better. So I don't know what to say, and I'm still in touch with lots of folks. You can find me and contact me in many different ways. So anyway, I just thought you'd find that interesting. Thanks again for watching. We'll have more updates for you soon. So we'll see you around. Take care for now, and bye.